Okay, so now we want to start rendering the elevation of the CAD washroom. And one of the things that you want to be careful about is knowing exactly how the cabinet looks like, because you can have an inset and you can have an overlay type of cabinet, and you want to show this. So I'm just going to pick any of those while working, but I just wanted you to see the difference between both before attempting to try to render the cabinet first. And this is what I will do. The first thing to create the rendering for the cabinet is we need a layer for it. And this is why if you don't have the layer open, you're going to go to Window and you're going to go to Layer Editor. And from layer editor, you're just going to add another layer. And to add another layer on top of those layers that we created earlier, I'm just going to click here. And then I'm going to click on add layer, or control L if you were using your Windows version. Now on layer 4 here, I know that I'm going to dedicate it to this area here. So one of the things that I'm going to do is that from the main toolbar, I'm going to click on select. And here I can actually do two things. I can select the rectangle, or I can select the polyline. Now the polyline is going to be easier because there are some small areas here that I might need to pick, because there is definitely a space here, as you can see. And I need to take this out of the equation. So when I select, I actually might click on the polyline and start tracing the areas that I want. Now, bear in mind is that this polyline works exactly like a lasso tool. And if you click on Shift while holding, this is supposed to constrain it. Sometimes it does that to a horizontal. And if you have a curve like this, you just have to do like very small segments, one at a time. And we're trying to select this as accurate as possible. Okay, and once you go back here, and then you see that the lasso or the polyline does have this small circle or a small square. This means that this is closing the selection like that. All right, so we did select the whole cabinet with the small details and the areas that is out. So right now, the next thing I want to do is just I'm going to close the selection, and I need to and again I'm going to close the select tool. And doing this is not going to get me out of the selection. And I'm going to start actually adding the color using the paintbrush. Now the paintbrush, if I'm going to close all of those, okay. How to find that paintbrush? The paintbrush is actually located in the main toolbar here. And you're going to find it here. And the reason that I'm using it, I could actually use markers, but some of you will not have markers if you use the new version of Sketchbook Pro. So this is why I can use the paintbrush to make sure that the paintbrush is explored by, you're exploring all its characteristics. You're going to go to the brush properties here. Now, if you don't know where this is coming from, all you have to do is to go to Window and Toolbar, or Window and Brush Palette, or Brush Library, and then they're gonna pop up. So here, this is the paintbrush, and the paintbrush does have three main things that you can usually change by advanced. Now the paintbrush can be used as a marker. So if you click here on the type and you find that it's selected or added to anything other than marker, all you have to do is to click on the drop-down menu and click on marker. Once you click on the marker, this is what's going to come up, which is somehow resembling what a marker or a physical marker will do when you are working with it. Now, the color that I selected here is basically located in the Copic library. But if you don't have that, I think I picked it from the and you probably don't have that if you have the new version of Sketchbook Pro. It used to be here prior to Autodesk selling the software. So it is one of those. I think I used something called the Antwerp Blue. This is the one that I used. And it does, the good thing that it used to come with complementary colors. Now, if you don't have that, feel free to select any color from the paintbrush. I'm sorry, from the color editor. So the color editor will have, the color wheel, and you can move it. Okay, so right now, even if I selected this, I saved it and placed it here. Right now, it is located. Take a look at where this circle is and where the circle is, so you can follow along if you don't have that color. If you want to go with another color, okay, just make sure to do this is to, once you select the color, click on it, and then drag it and add it to the swatches, because you're probably going to need that. You're probably going to need that color because later you want to get a darker version of the color and a lighter version of the color to do the inset or the overlay. So again, I'm just using this blue color that I got from the Copic library, and feel free to select any color and then drag the swatch. Once you determine which color you're going to be using, just select it and drag it to replace any of those. Now, the problem, just to mention that, is that if I have this and I want to add it here, you can keep adding them as long as you want to, or you can replace swatches that are already placed here. So that's just a brief on how to get colors from the color editor. So I'm just going to use the color that I told you about that I got from the markers library. And I can, the next thing I want to do is that I want the size to be a little bit bigger than this. Okay. And I can work with a little bit of a flow. It's about 74%. And the witness also, I'm just going to put it at 70 or 74%. Now we have two ways to do this. You can start doing that this way, and you're going to see that you're going to be a little bit floppy at the beginning. I'm sorry, sloppy at the beginning, because it's not easy to move this. Now you can also do something else. You can click Shift on your keyboard, and this is going to make this look as exactly as a marker. Okay, so this is this is just giving you ideas on how to use that. Another way to do this is to increase the size a little bit. So if I'm going to increase the size a little bit, okay, and then I'm going to do, I increase it to about 22, and then I'm holding Shift, and I'm trying as much as possible to not to give overlapping strokes, just trying to give it just very small, or not clicking hard on the digital pen. You still can do this with a mouse, by the way, if you want to. Now I just have to kind of measure with my eye where the light is coming from. I will assume that light is coming from this side, from the left side. So this is why I will try as much as possible to make this dark, like this. And leave some room for some reflection, as you can see here. So that's the first, one of the first steps that we do to use the paintbrush as a marker, okay, and start rendering the cabinet. Now, the next thing we're gonna do in the next video is we're gonna try as much as possible to bring in the sense of inset and inlay to the drawer that we have here.